First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachach and double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to the elect. This is the brother lawyer from Great Millstone, Miami. And what I want to go into in this lesson, all right, and what I believe I'll be titling this lesson is how the Strait Gate is a breeding ground for miracles and deliverance. Okay, Lord willing, I'll title the lesson that way. And what I mean by that is basically, these afflictions that we go through and that we will go through. Okay, the persecution, all right, that is prophesied to happen to the saints. Okay, all right, being excommunicated from the society, all right, not being able to enjoy the privileges that will come with so-called privileges. Excuse me, so-called privileges that come from bowing to the image and taking the MOTB, all right, in the times to come, all right, being in that type of straight and difficult position, all right, is going to be how would you say, a breeding ground, okay, or breeding grounds for miracles, okay, and deliverances from Yahweh Bashem Yahushua to take place, because situations like that is when the Lord likes to do his best work. Not saying that the Lord necessarily needs situations like that, but that's how he likes to deal, okay, to show his power, okay, all right. As Apostle Paul said, he said, um, I glory in infirmities and distresses and persecutions for Hamashiach's sake, for when I'm weak, then I am strong, that the power of Yahweh Shai may rest upon me, okay, all right. So, with that, that's what this lesson is going to be going into. All right, it's plenty of different examples in the scriptures, but I just want to kind of hit it from a certain angle, okay? And Lord willing, this video is edifying. All right, now this is the term breeding ground on Google. It says breeding ground. It says an area where birds, fish, and other animals habitually breed. It says a thing that favors the development or occurrence of something, okay? And so that's what I mean by the title, okay? All right, the Strait Gate, okay, the position of difficulty that the elect are in and are about to find themselves in. Our, Lord willing, that's us who have been laboring in this truth, okay, is a breeding ground for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai's work, okay, all right, it's a thing that favors the development and or occurrence of the Lord coming through and performing those miracles and deliverances that we read about in the scriptures. All right, for example, the crossing at the Red Sea. All right, Israel had their back against the wall, so to speak, and the Lord worked the work. Okay, that's talked about to this day. Okay, all right, even as they were in Egypt, Pharaoh would not let them go, and the Lord worked his work. Okay, all right, you can go into the story of Abraham and Sarah, and how they were up in age and thought they wouldn't be able to bear children together. Okay, all right, and the Lord worked his work. Okay, all right, and the list goes on and on. Okay, all right, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, or Hananiah, Azariah, and I want to say Misael, okay, in Babylon, okay, thrown into the fiery furnace, okay, all right, and the Lord worked his work, okay, all right, you had many miracles that Yahweh Shai performed on the scene, okay, when he was on the scene, okay, such as healing the sick, okay, and raising the dead. Well, in order for those situations to happen, somebody had to be sick and somebody had to die, okay, all right, and again, many other examples in the scriptures, all right. So the Strait Gate, of course, it's in the flesh, anxiety and things like that come into mind, okay, all right, but hey, we should again take heart, okay, be of good courage, as Yahweh Shai said, all right, and truly believe that he has overcome the world and he is in control of all things, okay, and that he's very able to deliver us in whatever situation comes up, okay, in his time, okay, and according to his purpose and his will and in his way, okay. Now this is Matthew chapter 7 verse 13. It says, enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be that go in thereat, okay, but straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and there and few there be that find it, okay, and few there be that find it, man. So Yahweh Shai commanded us to enter in at the straight gate, which the word straight here, um, from what I understand, it means to be in distress, to be in a difficult position, okay, but let me double check that, Let's see right here. All right, the word straight there is stenos. Okay, Strong's G4728. All right, it says narrow, straight. Okay, it says narrow from obstacles, standing close about. Okay, let's go to the word straight or straits. Con. All right, from the Etam Online Dictionary, it says straight, narrow, mid 14th century, narrow, confined space or place. All right, walking that straight and narrow path, right? Okay, not being swayed by things in the world like it's described in Second Esdras. All right, fire on one side or water on the other. Specifically of bodies of water in late 14th century from Old French, a strait, a strait. It says narrow part, pass, defile, narrow passage of water. Noun use of adjective strait, sense of difficulty, plight. Okay, all right, so it's used to describe a place of difficulty. Okay, all right, so yes, okay, that's what leads to life, man. Okay, it's gonna come a point in time where we're not gonna be able to do and do the things we're able to do, okay, and operate in the society in the way that we're able to now. Okay, we're gonna be viewed as public enemy number one. Okay, all right, people are gonna hate us and betray us and seek our lives. Okay, all right, family might leave. Okay, all right, and many other things. The scriptures describe how they shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. Okay, for they shall take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Things like that are going to happen. All right, but the Lord said, "Then shall it be known whom are my chosen." Okay, now this is Psalm chapter 46:1. It says, "To the chief musician for the sons of Korah, a song upon Alamoth." It says, "God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble." Okay, all right, a very present help in trouble. Therefore, we will not fear. I'm sorry. Therefore, will not we fear, though the earth be removed, and though the mountains be carried into the midst of the sea, though the waters thereof roar and be troubled, though the mountains shake with the swelling thereof. Selah. Okay, so though this whole world is collapsing around us, man, we still have to have our refuge, okay, our confidence in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, even though Jacob's trouble is pretty much begun. I would say the water has somewhat broken, okay, to some extent, okay. All right, and a trust and believe. We may not see things happening in the way that we expect them to in America, but in these other countries, man, okay, in Latin America, the Caribbean, Africa, okay, certain parts of Europe, okay, in Asia, in the Middle East, and Australia, yeah, okay, yes, all right, it's going down, okay, to one degree or the other, okay, all right, but nonetheless, when things begin to fall apart and the society caves in on itself, okay, as the scriptures say, seek now the day of the Lord. I'm sorry, the Lord in the day of thy youth, before the evil days come, okay. All right, so that when those times come, we might have our confidence in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai and believe in his help. Okay. All right. Now I want to go to Jeremiah the 30th chapter. Okay. And verse 1, it says, "The word that came to Jeremiah from the Lord, saying, thus speaketh the Lord God of Israel, saying, Write thee all the words that I have spoken unto thee in a book. For lo, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel and Judah, saith the Lord, and I will cause them to return to the land that I gave to their fathers, and they shall possess it." Okay, but before that happens, what's going to take place in the earth? All right, before that happens, Jacob's trouble. Okay, it says, "And these are the words that the Lord spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah. For thus saith the Lord, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. Ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. Okay, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. All right, so the time that's coming is going to be so terrible, okay, so fearful, okay, that even men are going to tremble and fail, okay, in their hearts and in their minds. All right, the scriptures say it's going to be a time like none other time. It tells you that in Daniel as well. But at that time, thy people shall be delivered. Again, this is what the Lord likes to do. Okay, he likes to make things dramatic. Okay, all right, in movies like The Purge and so on and so forth, I Am a Legend and whatever have you, you know. I know brothers are into the movies. Those movies can't even sum up how bad it's gonna get. Okay, especially for these people in America, man. Okay, but again, hey, it's a breeding ground for deliverance and for miracles, man. Okay, all right. This is Isaiah chapter 10, and verse 20. It says, "And it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob shall no more again stay upon him that smote them," which the word "stay" means to rely upon, to lean upon. All right, because hey, we have to go to our enemies for one of all things. We have to rely on the society, and we're not really used to, okay, not having it that way. Okay, all right. But guess what? The Lord said, hey, the remnant, it's gonna come a point where they're gonna have to completely detach, and whatever persecutions or ostracizing comes as a result of that. Okay, all right. Whatever hatred from the world, okay, or lacks, not having things, okay, come from that, we're gonna have to bear it, okay, trusting that the Lord is going to be the one that to take care of us. It says, "But shall stay," which means again to rely upon, shall stay upon the Lord, the Holy One of Israel, in truth. Okay, all right. So that's the times that we're coming into, a time where hey, we gonna have to fully rely, okay, or show through our behavior that we truly fully rely upon Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Okay, because I don't want to say that the times is coming is when we're gonna have to fully rely upon Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. We're supposed to do that right now. Okay, that's where our mind's supposed to be right now. Okay, regardless of whatever successes that we have, we're supposed to attribute those things. Okay, all right, those successes, those losses to Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. He's the one who's responsible for our lives. Okay, all right. So, hey, that faith needs to be cultivated in knowing, hey, that guess what? When the times come, all right, where these different uh, accesses, okay, or the different levels of access we have to the society are taken away. Okay, hey, the Lord is gonna come in and step in and take care of us. All right, hey, this is Job chapter 5. Okay, Job chapter 5, and it says in verse 19, it says, "He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles, yea, in 7. There shall no evil touch thee. In famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword. Thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue, neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh." Okay? All right, so when the famine comes, when the martial law comes, when it's chaos in the streets, guess what? The Lord's going to step in and deliver his elect. Okay? All right, and of course, it's going to be certain martyrs for the faith. But guess what? Those individuals are going to be risen up first with Yahweh Shai. And what's to say that the Lord don't, raise them up right then? Literally raise them up from the dead at that very moment. Okay, but again, the straight gate is the way for things like that to happen. All right. All right, it says, and I'm sorry, verse 22, it says, "At destruction and famine thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beast of the earth." Okay, so in these troubles that's coming, Jacob's trouble, right? All right, the Lord said he's going to redeem, he's going to save, he's going to deliver. Okay, all right, and that the elect would have joy and rejoice. Okay, all right, this is Isaiah 59 and 15. It says, "Yea, truth faileth, and he that departeth from evil maketh himself a prey." All right, and is that not the case? Okay, all right, turn to Yahweh Shema Shai, the world hates you, as it is written. Okay, and you become a prey. All right, We are a prey in this world and in the society. All right, and hey, to be very honest, hey, people hate us and they want us dead. Okay, and that's going to be evidently manifested when, hey, when the S starts hitting the fan. Okay, it says, and the Lord saw it, and it displeased him that there was no judgment. Okay, all right, because if there was judgment in the society, the righteous would be commended, and the wicked would be contemned and despised, and looked down upon and hated. But that's not the case, man, because this society is void of judgment. Verse 16 it says, and he saw that there was no man, and wondered that there was no intercessor. Okay, so nobody's out here pleading the cause of the righteous, man. All right, so the only one is Yahushua. He's the one out here pleading the cause of the righteous. All right, and he's in the heavens making intercession for his elect. It says, therefore his arm brought salvation unto him. That's Yahushua, the arm of the Lord, and his righteousness it sustained him. So the Lord's gonna step in. Okay, it says, for he put on righteousness as a breastplate, and the helmet of salvation upon his head, and he put on the garments of vengeance for clothing, and was clad with zeal as a cloak. According to their deeds, accordingly he will repay fury to his adversaries, recompense to his enemies. To the islands he will repay a recompense, man. All right, so the Lord he's gonna execute his fury upon the wicked on behalf of the righteous, man. Okay, all right, hey, even now, all these different judgments and plagues that are taking place upon the earth is for the righteous, man. Okay, all right, the Lord's hearing the cries and the groanings. So that's why it's heat waves and wildfires and uproars and pestilences and all of this happening, man. Okay, different things like that, but it's going to intensify more and more and more and more and more, all the way up until the missiles come and blow the society to bits, and the chariots start shooting fire from the sky. All right, evaporating entire populations of people. Okay, multitudes of people turned into dust in a matter of seconds. Why? Because of the vengeance of the Lord. In verse 18 it says, according to their deeds, accordingly he will repay fury to his adversaries, recompense to his enemies. To the islands he will repay recompense. So shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. All right, so worldwide it says, when the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. Okay, so the Lord is going to step in when the enemy comes in like a flood, violently as a madman, sparing none. Okay, and it's going to be a global, all right, a global affliction, a global persecution upon the elect of Israel that believe in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Okay, and the Lord's going to step in, all right, for his remnant's sake, to lift up a standard. How now exactly how that's going to happen? It could be, and the Lord sent an angel, or angels or chariots start zapping people, or give brothers spiritual power, cloak brothers, teleport. However it's gonna happen, super speed, who knows? But he's gonna do something. All right, he's gonna do something, man. All right. Again, at the crossing of the Red Sea, Israelites didn't know what the Lord was gonna do. Moses didn't know. He just said, "Hey, look, the Lord gonna work a deliverance. I'm gonna go pray." Okay, and the Lord told him what to do. It stretch out your hand over the waters, man. Lift up your staff, and I'm gonna drive the waters back by a strong wind. Okay, and you're gonna go through on dry ground, and that's how it went down. Okay, all right. Even the woman with the issue of blood, you going to the physician 12 years. She spent all her living. Okay, she tried everything. It didn't work, and actually she got worse. But guess what? She she touched the hem of Yahushua's garment, and she was made whole. Okay, perfectly whole from that day forward. Okay, that's why we have stories like that in the Bible. Okay, now this is Second Ezra chapter 16 and verse 70. It says, there be, for there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord." Okay, what's the word insurrection mean? It means a violent uprising against an authority or a government. Okay, all right. And the elect of the nation of Israel, beginning with the prophets, are an authority. Okay, I have this day set thee above the nations and above the kingdoms and above all, the kings and the princes to root out and to pull down and to pluck and to build and to plant. All right, cosmos, a government. Okay, that's the elect. When you read the word world in John 3:16, it's cosmos. It says orderly and apt harmonious arrangement, government. Okay, the Israelites, man, the throne of David, the elect. Okay, so everywhere where the elect are that believe in Yahweh Shem Yahushua, there's going to be a violent uprising against them. Okay, it says, "For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known whom are my chosen." Okay, so they're gonna, hey, it's gonna get real, man. Okay, they're gonna break and bust through, and guess what? Hey, that's why Esau wants to shut everything down. All right, he wants these restrictions on where people can go if they can step out of their house. Okay, all right, these LOCKDOWNS. Okay, he wants those, man. All right, that's why it's hard to pay for gas. It's hard to travel. Okay, it's hard to work. It's hard to do anything. Okay, he's making it harder. Why? To restrict people's liberty and their ability to get around. Okay, to travel. Okay, to escape his grip. Okay, that's why he's bringing these. He wants to declare these global pandemics and things like that, and crises, so he can control where people are. Okay, what they have access to. Okay, all right, their ability to move, so he can come in like this so he could come in like a flood, so he can break into people's homes and snatch them out of their houses, man, so to make it easier for him. Okay, all this surveillance technology and all this stuff, okay, that he's advancing on the earth, that's why. Okay, so it's gonna get real. Okay, it says, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord like mad men, sparing none. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire. Okay, so things are like this are gonna happen, but guess what? The Lord is gonna step through. All right, the Lord gonna step on Esau. All right, and get down. For his elect's sake, it says, "Hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same." Okay? Be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for Yahweh is your guide. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So the Lord promised deliverance, all right, miracles, okay, during the time of trouble. All right? So that's how it's going down. But the way to that, the breeding ground for that is the straight gate. Okay, a position of difficulty. All right, being ready to lose it all. All right, being ready to suffer for Yahweh's sake. Okay, whatever happens for the name of the Lord. Okay, being ready to deny yourself. Okay, that's the breeding ground for those miracles and for those deliverances that we read about in the scriptures. Okay, so may the Most High increase our faith, okay, and our fortitude of mind. All right, so that regardless of whatever happens, all right, like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego said, okay, like like they said to King Nebuchadnezzar, okay, hey, regardless of what happens, we still not gonna bow down and worship your image. Okay, so with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachakwadash, double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to the elect, Kwame Asherala, and the Bible Ball. Shalom.